All right. Thank you guys. Happy New Year. All the best in 2020. So what I'm trying to do here is we're going to discuss assignment 2 preparation. So my plan is I would like to go through all the points, slides I want to discuss. Then I give you time to ask questions. In the session or during the session, if you have any questions, I would like to suggest you send me a text or chat in the chat sections. So where I will answer all the questions when I finish uh, all the slides, points I would like to discuss. Okay? Is that okay with you guys? If no objections, okay, thank you. I will go ahead. Okay, first one, assignment 2, okay, and assignment 2 requirements. Okay, I do not spend too much time here. Okay, the key idea is ask you to develop a proposal for selecting, developing, and implementing a information system, also loosely called implementing an information system in the UIG. Okay, um, so there are probably a few key concepts I need to address here. First one, students typically ask me, what do I mean by a sponsor? Well, for the assignment 2 purpose, sponsor is someone such as your senior manager in their organization who can approve and support your proposed system project. Okay, so I repeat again, for assignment 2 purpose, a sponsor is someone such as your senior manager in your organization who can approve and support your proposed system and project. Okay, the first one. Second one, students have been asking me about the organizations or company firms for assignment 2. They ask me, Jun, is to be a real company or not? The answer is the organization you decide to use for your assignment 2 must be a real organization. Okay, and such organizations are typically are organizations such as you have worked with before, such as your owned your previous your previous companies you have worked with before, or the company you are working with now, or an company, an organizations you have inside information. What do I mean by insiders information? That means you can access someone very senior in the company. You can get all the information you want. Okay. Example will be, for example, if your father is running a business, I mean your close friend running a business, you have very good chance to interview people, to get access to knowledge, the documents about the company. Okay. And so that's what I call insiders information per company. If you have never worked before, or you have no suitable company you think you can use for assignment 2, my last suggestion will be use your previous universities or Southern Cross universities. Why? Because you have done your study with your universities or Southern Cross University. So you must, I mean, typically or common sense, you will have very good knowledge of your university, including your previous ones and Southern Cross University. Okay, so that's our two key points I want to discuss. The last key point about the requirements of UI requirements of assignment 2 is references. Students in the past have asked me, Jun, do you have a required number of references for assignment 2 as we have in assignment 1? The answer is no. We do not have a predetermined reference number for assignment 2. So then again, another question will coming after will be, do you mean we can have no references for assignment 2? The answer is no. Why? Because you definitely need a reference for areas such as external operating environment, okay, of your chosen business organizations, or you need references for your selected system and vendors, companies of system who supply the system. Also, very likely you need a reference for some of your recommendations. Okay. Also, very likely you need a reference for your comparison of best practices in the industry. Okay, of industry in which your chosen company is working in or competing in. So there are some different areas, in my view, you will need some references. Okay, even you are proposing a system to a very private company, okay, to very small company or very family oriented company, but you still need a reference to look at, for example, the market trends and the best practices and in the industry. Also, if you look at the discussion board in my MCU, just one question about if the organizations you have decided to use for your assignment 2 is a government agency. So how do we look at certain requirement for government agencies? As I reply in discussion board, for different type of organizations, you may not to, answer all the perspectives of internal, external environment, for example. But some things you can use for all the business. For example, what's the current best practices in the industry? Okay, and what are the other government agencies, for example, are doing, etc., etc. Okay, so that's the three key and concept or question I have been asked many times. That's why I want to discuss first before we move forward. Okay, now let's move forward. Okay, and another question I have been asked a few times, and it is what kind of system, you know, you should use for your assignment 2. Okay, well, in theory, you can use any type of information system for your assignment 2. Okay, in theory, but for the purpose of assignment 2, Also, for the purpose of utilizing the content, the systems we have studied in this unit, namely ERP system, CRM system, SCM system, decision support system, executive information system, etc., etc. We discussed extensively in topic 5 to topic 8. So you should try to look at using this system for assignment 2. Of course, if your chosen organizations need different system, for example, integrate information system with combined feature of 7 systems we mentioned about, that's typically fun as well. But in order to discuss or spell means indicate very clearly that's the approach you are taking, why you are taking such approach. Okay? In my experience, for a lot of students, especially for overseas students, I think from my memory, at the end, they typically choose one ERP, CRM, SAM system, okay, for different reasons. Maybe this is a system they feel more comfortable with. I don't know, but let's give examples, okay. Last point, some people ask me, what do I mean by the focus for assignment 2 is not on a app. App stands for application or IFID type application. Well, as I argued just now, app or IFID type application or digital enterprise system as I lay out in the UIG. And they are in theory a kind of a type of information system. Okay. Again, I argued again for the purpose of this assignment 2, for the purpose of better utilizing the content system we study in this unit, we ask you not to use them. Okay. So on a related note, what are some examples of digital enterprise system which is beyond this unit, which we taught, which we teach or taught in different units, are some e-business system typically or digital business system such as B2C application, B2B application, B2C website, B2B website, social media sites, okay, blogs, and P2P payment website, these kind of things, okay. So this is one, those kind of system is one category of information system, but it's not the focus of this unit, okay. So that's another important point, which has been asked by many students. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Okay, the next one from this slide onwards, we basically discuss assignment 1 requirement one by one. Okay, assignment 2 requirement one by one. When I say assignment 2 requirements, I also refer to marking criteria. So a key message here is no matter what you do, you need to address marking criteria in the UIG. Okay? So my suggestion it is if you do not know how to deal with the flow structure of your assignment, you stick to marking criteria or you use the subheadings in this session from slide 5 to 8. This as your subheadings of your assignment 2, okay, to play safe. Okay, now let's discuss one by one. First one, ask you to look at organizational context. Okay, here we're not looking at a very detailed discussion of the chosen company, okay, or organization for your assignment two. We look at a good summary, but again, not oversimplified, and presentation of a organizational background of the of your chosen organization. Such information including industry, visions, missions, business processes, okay? And some such information, in my personal view, if I write this assignment, could be presented in a table format with some good explanations, okay? I repeat again, present only one table is not good enough. If you present a key information table, you need to explain, okay, what's mean the table, for example, okay, and you know, so you all understand what it is, industry, vision, mission, business processes. You know, for example, when you discuss business processes, some relevant tools you can look at such a, value chain perspective, and business supply chain perspective, such, for example, you can talk about what are the primary activities, secondary activities, etc., etc. Okay, for example, okay, I'll leave to you. The second question, sorry, is ask you to look at external and internal environments of the chosen chosen organizations, okay, for your assignment two. So I think when come to this question, I believe you will feel very comfortable. Why? In assignment one, you have done a lot of such analysis, right? For example, good discussion of internal external environment could be done by applying tools such Porter's five-force model, a SWOT model, right? We learned that in topic two. We apply this in assignment one. You know, if you know what I mean, and if you go back to your topic two, look at your assignment one. But one emphasis here it is tailored approach. What I mean here by a tailored approach is, for example, if you're trying to write internal, external environment for Woolworths or Coles, you need to have a adapt five-force model for Woolworths or Coles. You cannot simply copy paste the things from the study guide or PowerPoint slides here, right? So tailored approach. Also, you can discuss have a good discussion of market trends and the international best practice of strategic use of ISIT in that market where your chosen organization is working or competing in. Okay, you also, for example, can present some key information in a table regarding some key competitors of the organizations and their best practices, for example. Okay, that's and first two questions. Let's move on. The next one is identification and of the problem and opportunity for ISIT. So what you should do here is, and you need, have a good discussion of the problem you have identified, from previous analysis and in the chosen organizations and the opportunity for ISIT for the chosen organizations, And such discussion should link to your discussion of your previous discussion of internal external environment. Okay, And so such discussion should build on your previous discussions. Okay. Um, for example, and yeah, I think that's the key message. So the key point here it is you try to build on your discussion for problem identification and opportunity for ICT onto your previous discussion of internal external environment. Okay, so that's very logic. Okay, so next one to ask you to do justification of the choosing systems. Okay, um, link. Yeah. So, my apology. My apology. I should have a more discussion on the last point. Identification of the problem opportunity for ICT. Okay. Here, and what you can discuss is and build on the previous discussion. You can say what kind of systems and can be useful for the identified problem opportunity for ICT. For example, you can present, you may look at different systems, for example, present some, key benefits, present system implication for the organizations, you also can have a table, look at the alternative solutions and selecting the appropriate ones. Some solution, for example, you can present in a table such as keep the current situation versus proposed system versus an integrated system with combined features from several systems or versus particular models, for example. Okay, so here you can talk about the different thinking system you are looking at. Okay, and so by doing so, you lay very good foundation for next questions, justification for the chosen systems. Okay, so now we come to the next one, justification for the choosing systems. Okay, so in these sections, you basically look at some system you have, in your mind, and from last sections, such as last section of identification of the problem and opportunity for ICT. Then you try to decide which one you're going to use. So how are you going to decide which one to use? You need to look at certain things, such as feasibility studies. Okay, and so where we can find some feasibility studies in topic 4, right? And in topic 4, we discussed a number of feasibility studies. Okay, such economic feasibility studies, operational feasibility studies, schedule feasibility studies, technical feasibility studies, human factors, legal, contractual. You don't have to discuss all of them. I think the UIG, we said you need to discuss cost benefit plus another one. Of course, I would say you probably can do more than two, okay? And what will make your assignment more comprehensive. Okay, you need to have a good justification and the communication reasons for the select proposed system. Okay, so how do you do that? Again, my personal view is you need to present, for example, such as you need to present a table or matrix, for example, you know, present such as information such as advantages, disadvantages are different solutions, also decision-making processes. Okay, for example, remember in topic 4 slides, we talk about, you can use ratings in ways to make decision. So similar approach, I would suggest you to apply here. Okay, so if you're not so sure what I mean by using ratings, weights, total score, you can look at topic 4 slides or have a look at reading 4.6 for some examples. Okay. Um, Also, in here, you need to discuss how the proposed system will fit organization and support strategy goals organizations. Okay, and yeah, so that's another important things, and okay, that's basically it at this point, and key things is here, key things here, I repeat again, for the justification of children's systems are, you need to do some good feasibility studies, which including minimum one cost benefit analysis plus another one, but I would suggest you probably look at more than two to make your assignment more comprehensive. Okay, have a good discussion of the chosen systems, and by looking at and presenting information such as advantages, disadvantages of different system solutions, and how the final decision of your chosen system is made. And some approaches have been discussed in topic 4, such as ratings, such as weights, such as total scores. So topic 4 slides give you some idea. Also, reading 4.6 give you some examples. Okay, let's move forward. Okay, system analysis and system design. Okay, Um, let's talk about system and analysis first. Okay, so what's the system analysis? What system analysis is trying to do here? Okay, system analysis basically is trying to give you understanding. What the current system is doing. What is the gap? What do you want the new system or improved system to do? Okay, so after understand the weakness, the gap of the old system and the function, and you want the functions, the outcome or deliverables of the new system you want for the children organizations, then you designed the system. Okay, let me repeat again. So in this system analysis, system design section, okay, what you try to do is you try to understand the current system in the organization. You try to understand what they do, what's the gap. Then you come in with the proposed, system outcomes, deliverables normally will be the gap of the old system. Then, after you understand the new system's information needs, okay, and the outcome deliverables, then you try to see how hardware, software, networks can help you to deliver the identified information needs the flow. Okay, I like to expand a little bit here. What do I mean by information flow and needs? Okay, well, information needs is basically what you want new approved information to do in terms deliverables or outcomes of information system. Okay, the flow means how this, the information requirement flow among different parties, department in the organization is delivered, is guaranteed. Example will be, for example, you're trying to develop, design a system to meet information requirement within the company. For example, you have three partners, three officers in the company, A, B, C, right? So firstly, you have to understand what are the information needs of A, B, C, right? Then you have to understand how the information flows between ABC. Okay, you have understand information needs of ABC, information flow between ABC. Then you look at how you can use hardware, software, such as hardware, computer, software on the computer, and networks means how the three ABC computers are connected together to achieve the outcomes, a deliverable of the proposed system to meet ABC's information needs. Okay, individual needs, also information flow among them. Okay, so that's basically a system design. Um, I want to say one thing. Uh, People get a bit scared of system design and the development in this unit. Well, I think you should not be. Why? Because we are here only look at a very high level and for managers understanding. So basically here we ask you to understand users information needs. Then we ask you to understand how the information needs is supported by hardware, software, networks. Very high level. Okay, that's you have this information flow, infrastructure model, this kind of thing, very high level drawings, diagrams. We don't want to go to details, how each computer is connected, all these kind of things. Well, high level, okay, understanding and diagram, drawings, plan, okay. Um, so next relevant point is we discuss in this section system analysis and system design. You need to have a good understanding of users' needs, information flow. So how we can achieve good understanding of user needs, information flow is by certain ways, right? In topic 4, we develop, we present different approaches. For example, you can do by different ways, such as interviews, surveys, document analysis, focus group, and talking to people, this observation, etc., etc. Okay, if you can refer back to topic 4 slides, you can see a lot of information there. Okay, so now we come to next stage, next one, development and testing and the implementations. Okay, development basically means you develop or the things you have come up, produced in the system design stage into a final products, then put into place. Again, for the development part, we want you have a high level managerial understanding, not so much in details how the coding was done, different testing was done, even though testing is very important. Okay, and so here we want you have a good discussion. For example, something very managerial level. It is how required, for example, hardware, software will be acquired or developed, and have some good discussion of testing activities, including unit testing, system testing, integration testing, user acceptance testing. And you may ask me, what is all this? It's very straightforward. Unit testing is testing the whole unit. For example, if you're testing a website, you have to see how each page website is working. If you're testing a system, you have to make sure each click of the certain system, each function system is working perfectly. Okay, and the system testing basically means the whole system has been tested to make sure it runs perfectly. Integration testing, and it's very straightforward. For example, and if you log into MyMCU on your version, you can see different modules as plug into MyMCU, right? For example, in my MCU package, I have a HR functions, accounting functions, travel functions, modules, all plug into MyMCU for staff. So how you do ensure all this work perfectly together is called integration testing. When you try to bring any new system into the company, into the organizations, there always an issue of integration. Integration basically means how can you ensure the new system can work with the current system, or current structure of the organizations. Okay, user acceptance testing basically means you want to see how user friendly the system to the user. Okay, and how useful to the system. Of course, this has to be done in the planning stage. But again, after developing the system, you test again, see whether the developed system has fulfilled the customer's expectations, perceptions. Okay, um, you can look at some readings, for example, 4.1, reading 4.2, even reading 4.6, or study guide, and lecture notes, pop4. You can find some good information on testing. Okay. Also, you need to have some good discussion of training approaches, activities, good discussion of conversion approach processes. Okay, so what are some conversion approach processes? This is also very important topic as well. Okay, so remember, and we talk about and four conversion four type of conversion process in topic 4. What are the four? Direct, palette, phased, and parallel. Okay, so in real life, we don't use direct approach. What is a direct approach? Direct approach basically means you take out the old system totally, you put in new system totally. What's the problem here? Well, it's very risky because if a new system doesn't work, there's no backup. So in real life, in most cases, we use approach such as a palette, phased, or parallel. Okay, parallel means you test a certain function, unit of the organization. Parallel means you run old system, new system at the same time. And phased means you're trying to only implement in certain organization, certain unit of organization. Then you move to next other section of your organizations. In real life, in the company, we typically use combined approach. For example, combined palette approach with parallel approach. For example, university is trying to test something in my uni, for example, this uni, okay, have a new system. For example, we have this blackboard system, right? Collaborator Ultra, right? From this session, we decided to use Collaborator Ultra system for online sessions, okay? So the direct approach basically means we take out the blackboard, putting Collaborator Ultra immediately, right? Which is very risky if a Collaborator Ultra is not working. So what we do is we pilot test in certain unit, for example, including my unit, for example, also have a parallel approach. It means we leave both Collaborator Ultra and old blackboard at the same time. We can choose to use one of them. So that's example. Okay. Good discussion of integration. I've already discussed just now. Okay. Also, another important things, okay, is you need to discuss security privacy issue in your assignment 2. Well, privacy and security issue are discussed in topic 9. Okay, even though we have not taught this concept, this issue, this subject, this topic yet, but I think we have discussed various security privacy issue in throughout this session until now in different topics. Also, a lot of security privacy issues are very straightforward, have been discussed in different topics, PPTs, study guides. Also, and we have uploaded topic 2 slides and lectures. You should be able to get a very good understanding and information of a security privacy issue. Okay. What are some things you can discuss? Um, For example, some other and discussion you can have in case it is for example, if you decide to do not use the internal development approach, you probably can discuss why you are not using internal development approach. Are you using outsourcing? Are you use of ASP services, or you are acquiring, or buying hardware software, for example. Again, in topic 4, we discuss the advantage, disadvantage of these different options. For example, if those kind of discussion relevant to your assignment 2, you can include as well. Okay. And so, for example, if you decide to go to pursue and to go for non-internal development approach, you need to discuss advantage of uh, internal development approach and a non-internal development approach. To present such information in a table matrix to enhance your discussion. Okay. Um, let's moving forward. Okay. Next one to ask you to present or to discuss post implementation activities. We all know post implementation activities are critical for the companies. Okay, remember in topic 4 we talk about up to 70% investment, time, efforts actually of the total and the investment of any system implementations are actually on the post implementation activities. you know so you need to have a good discussion of a post implementation activity, such as conducting post implementation review, performing changes, corrections, additions, updates to ensure the system continue to meet business goals, and providing help to support system, providing environment to support system changes, or sometimes because changes of legislation, regulations, you have to make changes to the system as well. Okay, and so it's very critical, so you need to have a good discussion of post implementation activities from such perspectives we have just and discussed. Okay, so next one is very critical, important as well. Next section, next question, assignment to question, asks you to look at project management, change management, and risk management, because they are so important. That's why in assignment 2 we ask you to discuss these 3 areas one by in different sections. In real life project, this kind of thing may not be discussed in separate sections. For example, project management, change management, risk management, it may be discussed in very early, in the beginning, in the early stage of project, especially project management. Right? Why? Because you have project plan. Even the project plan have to keep on updating throughout the project, but you start project plan from in the beginning stage. Okay, risk management as well. Very often risk management start from in the beginning as well, and change management also very well and very often you start in beginning project. Okay, also as a part of whole early planning activities. Okay, but here, for the assignment 2 purpose, for the purpose have you have better understanding of project management, change management, risk management, we ask you to discuss them one by one. So you need to have one section on project management, one section on change management, one section on risk management. And topic 4, slides and readings, and topic 4, study guides, present you very good information discussion on project management, risk management. I think the information on change management is not as much as the information on project management, risk management, and in the study material. Okay, if you look at the study guide, we do provide some discussion, including a flow chart of change management, which is very good change management diagram process. But again, if you want to have a more comprehensive information of change management, it can easily found by Google, the internet, but look at the database, right? So a lot of information on change management. Okay, and so some discussions we believe you can look at for project management, including, you know, project plan, activities, project organizations. Also important, very important things are having discussion on things such as roles, responsibilities, project team members, okay, and milestones, project plans, okay. Also required resources, etc. Okay, and also we want you have a good discussion of what risk management processes and activities. Well, risk management, and when you do research, you may find different risk management, frameworks. Also, maybe in the study guide and the PowerPoint slides for topic 4, we also present probably different perspective of risk management. But doesn't matter. In summary, risk management have three major components. First one is identify potential possible risks. Second thing is trying to understand the impacts, or sometimes they call quantify the impacts of risk. That means what kind of damage, you know, identified risk can cause to the project, can cause, can bring to the organizations. So the last one, and risk management management normally will look at it. Then after understand what are some possible risks, what are some potential impact of this identified risk, what can we do about them? For example, what can we do? We must have some contingency backup plan to deal with different risk, including for example, cyber attack. For example, you can buy insurance, have better protections. Or for example, if you think project manager is very important, so how do you deal with the sudden departure of project management? You could think of you know ask the project management to report every week. You put in the system. For example, have a cross-functional team, and every team have at least two people, two members to work with each other to help each other. So if one person and is leaving, so you still got a knowledge in other people, other member of team, for example. Okay. And change management process, as I said, it, I remember in the study guide topic 4, we did present a good project management process. You can use that. But again, I'll suggest you, probably do a little bit of research upon to find more, discussion and, information on change management for your assignment 2 purpose. Okay, because um, project management, change management, risk management, in my view, they are equally important. Okay, let's move on. Okay, um, before you really start preparing for your assignment 2, I like to highlight of some resources you should use and for your assignment 2 preparation. First one, UIG. Why UIG? Because in UIG, you can locate detailed assignment 2 requirements and marking criteria. Okay, and so you have to make sure your assignment 2 address assignment 2 requirements and marking criteria listed in the UIG. Second one, I want you really get familiar with topic 4 lecture PPTs and study guide topic 4. Okay. And the next one, I want you look at today's session's PPTs and recordings. Okay. Before you jump on your assignment 2. The next one, I want you read reading 4.6. Okay. To understand a very similar project, how this project is done, how this project activity is are reported. But again, it's an example only. Reading 4.6 do not cover all the assignment to requirements, but it's a very good example. Okay. In relation to this point, I would suggest you also have a look at reading 4.1, reading 4.2 as well, which again cover some good area of SDLC and the other areas as well. Okay, let's go to the next one. Um, I typically, as I said many times, I do not want to provide you with a fixed structures. But again, many students actually want to me propose some structures. Okay, so that's the structure I would like to suggest. If you have no idea, what do you want to do? The first one is covering letter to your sponsor. I repeat again, sponsor normally for your assignment 2 purpose is someone which very senior in your chosen organizations who can in theory approve approval and support your organizations. Okay, I mean, of course, the cover letter, the assignment 2 may not present to to your senior manager, but for the assignment 2 purpose, you you needed to have a and a person who actually approve, support your project in theory. Okay, your project may not go ahead. For example, if you write something on Southern Coast University, present something and to improve Southern Coast University, information system. Of course, we're not going to present your proposal to the chancellor or vice chancellor of the university. Okay, but probably look at to give some comments. Okay, but you need to include in that because that's what what you're going to do in the real life. Okay, we start train you to prepare for all these kind of things. Okay, title page. Basically, it is and title, affiliation, name, position, title. Here, for example, people sometimes to play some in a real life game to say this is from your ex consultant for certain company, for example, this kind of things. Okay, executive summary. Okay, um, some people ask me what's the difference between executive summary and introduction. Okay, executive summary, it is basically a summary of the whole report, including what you want to do and the key recommendation, normally not more than 1 page. Okay, and another argument people normally say, should you put executive summary before table of content or after table of content? Well, I don't think uh, you know, there's a fixed answer for this question or universal answer for this question. But I would think executive summary should be before table contents. They have a table contents introduction. So again, you probably ask me what difference between executive summary, introduction, and conclusion. As I said, executive summary including the purpose of this project and the key summary of project activities and outcome of the project activities, right? Introduction basically telling people what you want to do in this project. How about the conclusion? Conclusion basically is summarize key findings, key recommendations, key issues of this report. Okay, and But again, conclusion is not as comprehensive as executive summary. Okay, maybe only one or two paragraphs. Okay. Then after introductions, you can discuss assignment 2 questions. Okay, the 8 assignment questions have been discussed in detail just now from slide 5 to slide 8 of the session. So if you don't know what to do, you can use assignment 2 questions we discussed in slide 5 to slide 8 as your as the subheadings of your assignment 2. Okay, then conclusion, then reference list, then appendices. So you probably ask me, how should we use appendices? Well, appendices is is a place for you to give us, the marker, the tutor, or me, thing to read, but normally would be very comprehensive or quite comprehensive, or it's no need to put in the main body of text. For example, you may have very summarized information on the company or on your chosen organizations. Okay, in your assignment 2, in the body of assignment, but you feel you want to provide more comprehensive information to support your summarized information, then you can put such comprehensive information into appendices. Or, for example, if you looking at compare different systems, different vendors, companies, and you may present very summarized information in the tables, in the matrix, in the body of your assignment, but still feel, more comprehensive information will help us to understand how you choose the system, how you make final decision. They can put in the appendices as well. Okay, or you can put information, for example, and as we said, references are still very much important in assignment 2. Remember, in assignment 1 preparation session, I said we welcome both first-hand and second-hand information. Okay, so what is the first-hand information? Information you get from activities such as interview, surveys, focus group discussions, chit chat, online, video conferencing, for example, all these kind of things. What about secondary? Secondary basically is published information. Okay, in this particularly cases such as assignment 2, for example, you maybe want to talk about for example, you have done some interviews, surveys with the company. You have used for assignment 2, right? You probably only presented summarized information from such interview survey. For example, you may want to present more comprehensive information in the appendix. For example, what type of question you ask? Okay, what the background of interviews you have talked to, for example, all this kind of thing, how the information is collected, for your system analysis stages. Okay, I would say you probably put a summarized information, for example, how you collect information, and you summarize it in terms how you how you collected the required information and for system analysis stage in your body of assignment. But you can put a more detailed discussion here if it's necessary, relevant. Okay. Oh, okay. That's all the question. But I would like to and discuss a little bit on other marking criteria as well, given the feedback, given what we have seen in assignment and 1. Okay. So MC2 is about the use of multiple sources information. So as we argued just now, we welcome both first-hand, second-hand information. Okay, first-hand basically means you collect the information yourself via interview, talking, and survey, chit-chatting, conversation, blah blah. Okay. Also, real-life experience will be very much appreciated. For example, based on your own practice experiences. Okay. Um, Also, we want to emphasize a few things. We have seen the problem in the referencing and the resources area. Okay, some issue will be um, make sure you provide references for all your tables and matrix. Even you developers of tables matrix yourself, you can write developer for this study by the author, something like that. Also, make sure you cite means use all the references you provided reference list. Or on the other hand, similarly, you have to make sure you provide full references for all the citations. For example, you cite one Smith job, but we cannot find Smith's full reference in the reference list. So that's not really a valid reference. Okay. Um, okay, that's a reference we try to argue. So next things marking criteria is quality communication presentations. Okay. The one typical problem we have seen in assignment one is presentation structure of the assignment. For example, the two major issues I have seen in assignment one are first one, used too many dot points. Remember, you are writing a report. You're not doing a presentation PowerPoint slides. So when we see you can use dot point, but you cannot overuse dot point. So information you present should be concise, but cannot be oversimplified. Okay. Second things, I have second feedback from assignment one is we have seen many assignments with many long paragraph without subheadings. Okay, so my suggestion would be you divide long section into shorter section with subheadings. One particular suggestion I would give is make sure you present your key point first, either in dot point on the table, then discuss your key point one by one by using subheadings. For example, using the key point you identify as subsections, subsection headings. That way will make your presentation, your discussion better organized, more logic. Without those, subheadings, without, key points and being identified in the first place, you will write a very long paragraph. I don't think it's very good for yourself for you to express yourself clearly. Also, very difficult, sorry, for us to follow as well. So that's basically in some suggestion. And of course, if you read the feedback of someone, I think we give you some ideas such as what are some key elements of a good quality report, what are some key elements of a good paper structures, what are some key attributes of a report with a good communication. All I believe all have been given as part of a feedback to you. So please read them, to make sure you don't, no marks will be deducted for your presentation, those kind of things. Okay. Um, that's all from my part. Let me see what's the Okay, don't worry about this one. Okay, now I will look at all your comments. Okay, sorry, and then answer one by one. Okay. Okay. First one. When you see justify, do we have to have a number proposed idea? Yes. When we see justify, normally means there are comparisons between different options. Even though, for example, I said your idea may not be available in the marketplace, but some other ideas will be, I believe, in the marketplace, right? So you need to say how your proposed idea, whether available in the marketplace or not, compare with what's available in the marketplace. Then you make conclusion by looking at compare different things such as ratings, and weights, and total scores based on different and perspective and criteria. Okay, this is one answer. Next one. So basically, we first choose a standard system, justify how we choose, and then ought. No, you don't have to choose a standard system. Okay, you choose the systems to meet your needs, which can be a standard system or can be a system with combined features. The key things you have to identify or present the identified needs first. Then you choose system to fulfill your needs. Of course, possibly there will be few system could possibly fulfill, address your needs. Then you need to do comparison among this system, which could potentially or possibly address your needs. Again, comparisons of disadvantages, advantages, or by using ratings, weights, this kind of things will help you understand. Should design phase necessarily be based on evidence from standard design, or can I make my own based on my understanding? Well, in the design phase, as I said, there are two key components there. One, it is you have to understand what is the information user needs, information flow. Then how hardware, software networks can support such information needs to flow. Yeah, how you draw the diagram, how you and use and how you actually plan to use the hardware, software networks to fulfill to address it. The user needs and including the individual user needs and the information flow among different user department is up to you. Okay. Oh, referencing. No, you don't reference because you don't need a reference for the information flow and for the infrastructure model because that's how you actually and you try to respond to the identified needs for your children organization. I don't think you need references. Okay, I don't think so. Next one. Should the organization be in Australia only? No. As I said, has to be a real company or real organizations. Such organizations must be real in terms you have worked with before, or you are working with now, or you can have insiders information, access to the information. I'll give example. For example, if your mother or your parents are running a business, in my view, you have insider information. Why? Because you can access all the information you need from very high level to very low level. Okay, and could be in Australia or your home country. Also, I mentioned if you do not have any business to write about for your assignment two, or you do not have any suitable business to write about for assignment two for confidentiality issues, you can write about your university. Your university could include your previous university in your home country or Southern Coast universities. Okay. The next one, when looking for alternatives and selecting one, do you mean alternative information system or the vendors. Oh, very good one. I think you probably in the beginning have to look at alternative information system. For example, in the early stage, you may think, whether ERP system is suitable for my problem or the CRM system or the combined CRM ERP system will deal with my problem. Well, that's can be used as well. Then once you decide, for example, in the early stage, as I mentioned, you have a few different options, right? You can have an discussion, for example, do nothing, okay? Use the current system to improve or bring new system or bring in customized system or use combined system, for example, in the beginning, right? So once you decide you're going to go for CERP system, then you have to decide whether you're going to use ERP system from SAP, from Oracle, from Microsoft. Yeah, so you can, in my view, these two type of discussion all can be included in your discussion in your assignment too. Okay, I'll answer your question. Next one, we can use different information system together. Yes, as I call combined features, combined function features, different system. Again, the key discussion, key argument here, it is to to address your identified needs, okay? Information needs, user needs. If one particular system, stand alone system, cannot address your identified needs, you may need a different component, different system combined together to give what your system, what your user want, okay? Or what the user in your chosen organization want. Okay, answer your question. Can we use the idea already on the market or make up one? Well, yeah, you can use the idea already on the market or your own idea for assignment two purpose. Okay, I repeat again, for assignment two purpose, you can use one idea already in the market, which, well, when I say in the market, also but even though the idea or system approach may be already available in on the market in different sectors, but again, for your industry, for your company, that may be a new idea or improved idea, so you can use. Next one, can you recommend a word account distribution for the subtopic discussion sector? Okay, 2 points here. Second point of, sorry, my apology. First point, the word limit of 3,500 can be viewed as a minimum. Okay, so you have a more than 3,500 is fine with me. But as I argued before, quality is more important than quantity. Also, as I argued just now, discussed just now, if you really have a lot of comprehensive information, you think we have to read, put into appendix sections. Second one, subtopics, a distribution for each topics. Well, I will ask you to look at marks for each section. For example, I look at the UIG now. We have 2 marks for question 1, 3 marks for question 2, 2 marks for question 3, 4 marks for question 4, etc. I will think. And for example, we have 6 marks for project management, risk management, change management. So 2 marks each. So that will give you some idea how should you distribute your the percentage of a discussion. Okay. So I believe I have answered all the questions in the chat section. Now I give you opportunity to ask question. Okay. Do you have any questions? You can ask by using the the microphone. Okay. Any questions? Okay. Any questions? Firstly, can I ask you one question? Have I answered all your question in the chat section? If not, let's keep on discussing the question in the chat section first before we're moving forward to answer other questions. So whoever, for those people you have already asked questions in the chat sections, can you please let me know whether I have answered your question first? Then I open to the floor. Everyone can ask the questions. Okay, yes. How about other people? Siva, Saras? Okay, yeah. What's your question? Um, okay, but what do you mean more clearly? You can speak. You can speak. Yeah, sure. I just said, um, you may want to use, for example, you may want to have a combined system, and for example, may have some elements of CRM, some elements of big data, some elements of supply chain management to have to suit the needs of your organization. Did you understand what I'm saying, Siva? Okay, great. How about other people have asked question? How about Saras?
Hi, John.
Yeah. So did you answer did you answer your question or not? Oh yes, yes, okay. Yeah, did I answer? Also, you do you think I answer your question?
Hi, John. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
I just have a
yeah,
question. I just
yeah,
have a question regarding the design phase.
yeah.
How are we able to design IT infrastructure and design the system models? I'm just wondering how we would model that.
Okay, very simple. As I said, the probably it is basically so you have to understand how what the information flow needs. As I said, ABC, for example, right? Then once I understand how the information needs flows among ABC, then you try to link this ABC by computers and networks. That's simple. So basically, for example, you can see a computer in A, computer in B, computer C, then how they link together. Simple model.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
yeah. Look, we are not asking you to go for detail how the networking works. We want to understand. You have to understand information user needs, have to understand information flow. Why information flow? Because when you design information system, it's not for one person, right? It's not normally for many users in academics. Definitely, you need the information flow. Users are connected, so that's why we want to draw something, have a plan how the different information flow is connected. Normally represented by connected devices. Okay, computers, mobile phones, or etc. etc. I think if you look at the top, if I'm not wrong, if you look at the topic 4 slides, we have a few slides there, and if you do not understand, let me know later. But I believe we present here. we present some slides very high level. That's basically this idea. Okay. If you look at the slide 39, 40 in topic 4, this kind of thing we look at very high level. Okay.
Mhm. Yep.
Yeah. Any other questions? Okay. If I have answered, if you think I have answered your question in the chat sections, then I open to the floor. Do other people have any questions? All right. Okay, hold on. Your question is, do we have to include organizational website reference when discussing the original context? I say argue before. You only use references when needed or necessary. It's up to you. Yeah, the company must be a real company, okay? Unless it's very confidential, but you have to tell the marker. So look, the company has to be a real company. Normally, what we suggest students do, if you think information you discuss in assignment 2 is very confidential, you need to write down in assignment, say this information in assignment 2 is very confidential, so we only look at, we'll once finish marking, we will probably and remove from site, whatever, okay? Or you really think certain names cannot be disclosed, you have to tell. So you see, because of confidentiality reason, we use a fake name for a certain person, okay? But for the company, there must be a real company. Is that what you're asking or not?
Hey John,
Yeah.
it's Ajinkya, yeah. What I
Yeah.
meant was, do we have to specifically mention the like, suppose there's a manager, so do we have to mention the name of the manager, or just the designation is fine?
Ideally, you should mention both. But if you think it's very confidential, you can just mention the positions, okay?
Okay.
Anyone? Any questions? Open to the floor. Any questions? Any questions? Look, I go to the name list one by one. Someone ask. Okay, Akash. Any questions? If you can tap me or yes or no. Okay, Akash. Any questions? Okay. Okay, Maria have no good. Elizabeth have no questions. Okay, I'm good. Okay. How about Pong? Is the Pong pen? My apology. I think is the Pong Phoung? Is pronounced Pong? Do you have any questions? How about the Sabita? Sorry. Okay, thank you. How about the Sabita? Saboteur. Okay, my apology. Did I pronounce your name right? Saboteur, am I? Not Saboteur. My apology. I don't know. I'm not sure, but anyway. Okay, look, last message I want to say is this assignment two live session, today's session, in my view, is only beginning of your assignment preparation. I'm sure a lot of questions in your mind, on other people's mind, have not been answered, have not been asked. But the one purpose of tonight's session is to inspire, initiate your views, your ideas of assignment two preparation. Then we can have a more interactions, discussion after tonight's session. All right. I want to say, and Happy New Year again. All the best in 2020. And please do get in touch with me or your local tutor for any question regarding assignment 2. Have a good night. Bye bye.